Hey all, it's another week, and I'm looking to catch some more Geoguessr cheaters. Last week was interesting enough. We caught a few uh, people using Google to help find locations. No scripters as far as we could tell, but let's run through a few more cases and see what we can find this week. So starting off, we've got moving mode. Rating range is 800 900. And with 200 to 300 duels played. So not a terribly experienced player, but someone who's definitely played a bit on here. We'll take a look and see what they're up to. Player starts looking around. Appear to be somewhere in Russia. I'm going to zoom in, and they clicked close to Moscow. Um, there was no time to Google. I don't know if there was even anything that was there available to Google. Um, They clicked a pretty clickable place in Russia, Moscow, maybe hedging a little north, a little more to Kazan. I don't see anything suspicious about this. Just looking quickly at the pin. Usually scripting, we'll see some weird placement with the pins, either straight on the pin and then move away. But here it's pretty clean. They just clicked nearish to Moscow and pressed send. I don't see anything suspicious about this. I'm going to say not guilty on both accounts. Moving on to the next case here. Looks like the same player. Again, it's moving 800 to 900 rating, 200 to 300 games played, duels played. So let's see what we're looking at here. Okay, so almost got their pin on their pin was on the board before, like right from the beginning. Okay, this is looking a little more suspicious here. So Um, yeah, this looks to be scripting to me. So if we look instantly, um, the pin is dropped. Um, Middle of Uruguay. With how many seconds into the round? I mean, not too many. That's pretty much right on. The pin went straight to Uruguay. That's a little bit suspicious. I got to be honest. Space Blanc Uruguay before. I'm confused about what's happening here. So we've got the pin right on. They move it away. So, I mean, I think this is clearly some scripting here. Um, for whatever reason, it goes right into the center of the country, then on to the flag from space. As they zoom in, they click off of it a little bit, maybe a little closer, a little further away, and they lock in. Um, that sure looks like scripting to me. I'm going to say that they're guilty of scripting there. That one looks pretty cut and dry. Let's take a look at the next one. It is interesting to see a scripter. We didn't get one last time, but hopefully this person is brought to attention to the Geoguessr team, and we can get them their account banned because can't tolerate that kind of thing. Okay, looks like we got the same player again, moving 800 to 900 with 200 to 300 duels played. Let's see if they're gonna play. They're gonna do the same thing over again here. So, unlike the last round, their pin wasn't down right at the beginning of the round. They are now paused. Okay, so I'm just gonna pause this for a second and see what happened as we. So as soon as the pin goes down, it looks like it's right on the pin. Let's just see here. Okay, not quite. Very close. Um, They move it away into the water there. They move it close in again, almost straight onto the pin. Um, doesn't move again, and then they lock in. they're locked in on the 5K. So, um, again, this person is scripting. It looks like, I guess, the first round they hadn't used it yet, but this clearly looks like scripting to me. We're going to report them for that. Look at the next case now. Okay, we got a Sri Lanka round. This is a different player this time. So we got a no move game. Rating range is 1,000 to 1,100. Duels played 500 to 600. So fairly more experienced player here. Assuming they didn't cheat their way to this point, but let's see how this one goes. So they take a look at the sign. Unfortunately, they're going to sit here and look at this sign for an extended amount of time without pulling their map open. After about 10 seconds or so, they pull the map open and they see Gale. And they clicked on it first and then further away, trying to line up 11 kilometers away. I mean, they went quite far at first. So this is a little bit suspicious for sure. Definitely time to Google there. Now, as they zoom in, I mean, let's see here. Let's just take a count how many seconds they were looking at that sign. So go to the sign. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, full 10 seconds before opening their map. They certainly could have Googled that. Did they? I'm not convinced. I'm going to have to put insufficient evidence on this one. They certainly could have Googled, but I'm not convinced. Um, it was a bit of a pause. They zoomed in on Sri Lanka. You know what? I'm going to say guilty on this one for Googling. Um, Again, like I said before, this is not going to result in this player being banned just from what I've witnessed, but it will at least have the Geoguessr team take a look at this and consider what we've seen here. Let's see if we get them again in the next round. So this is not the same player. Actually, sorry, this should be the same player. It's a moving game again, 1,000 to 1,100, 500 to 600 duels played. So let's see. This is what they're doing on this round here. Now it's no moving. It doesn't look like there's anything. Oh, sorry, it is moving. So they're able to take a look at a sign. They're definitely pausing on this sign for longer than you'd like to see. That is a pretty findable town, Szolnok. They've clicked on it. It's just 44 kilometers away. Are they going to clue into that it's going to be a little bit further away? They haven't locked in yet, so I'm assuming that that's what they're going to do. Click a little bit further away. That's definitely very close to the pin. But it makes sense. Like, they kind of did the math there. See, it wasn't too long that they looked at this sign for. I'm just curious how long this was for. Here, we got there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A little less time. Definitely long enough to Google. I think I'd like, just because we got 2 rounds in a row here that's a little bit suspicious. Um, we'll bring some attention to this. I think it's quite possible they were Googling there. Next case, same player again, now in Indonesia. Um, this is definitely a place that could benefit from some Googling because there's a lot of information that not necessarily able to make sense of, but Googling will still bear some results. So let's see what they're doing here. Players looking around. Not making much effort to move around in a moving game. It's kind of interesting. Looking at the poll here. 1, 2, 3. Only 3 seconds there. It doesn't appear that they attempted to Google that information. Okay, they're zooming in. They've decided that it's Indonesia. I think that's a pretty easy call considering the flags painted on the poles in Indonesia almost all over the place, and that's what they've seen there. Okay. Um, this is definitely an opportunity to be Googling again, and this looks to be what they're doing. Let's see how close they get once they've Googled. Same player again. See how long total they've had this sign up for. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a pretty good likelihood that there's some googling going on there, because from the amount they're zoomed out, there is no information, as far as I know, that would tell you where this is. There is no region name on this sign. They're pretty zoomed out as far as finding it. The only thing I could think of, they're looking at another map on another screen, trying to click closer, and they kind of get closer as they click in closer to the flag. So, and again, this is the same player again. I'm almost certain at this point that this player is Googling it. I'm happy that the previous cases I've marked them guilty as well, because I definitely think that they should be taking a look at this one here. Okay, we got a no move game, so this is a different player, a different rating, 900 to 1,000, 700 to 800 duels played. I can only imagine that we'll see something interesting here as well. So we got zoomed in on a street sign, now another sign by a building. They're looking around. Definitely didn't look like they were Googling what was on there. They're looking at polls possibly. Slowly panning around. They've zoomed in on this sign again. They are going to pause on that sign briefly. Okay, so let's just see. Okay, there's this town name at the top of the sign, clearly. Um, it's not a town you'd see zoomed in when you're zoomed as far. So I guess it is visible when they click region guess, and then they do see the town name and they click in. And they've decided it's Turkey. And I mean, I think because of how green it is and the mountains in the south, you can kind of assume that this is at least northern Turkey. Well, with the roofs as well, you could assume this is uh, northwestern Turkey. So I don't see enough here, to be honest. I'm going to leave this at insufficient evidence for Googling, and I'll take a look and see. Maybe we'll get another round with this player, and so no, unfortunately. So I think I'm happy with the verdict there. Player had some experience, definitely the ability to find that one without Googling. Um, Pauses on the signs were not very long, so I think we did the right thing here. So This is a Poland round. We have is another no move game. Rating is 900 to 1,000, and duels played is 700 to 800. So let's see what's going on here. Okay, so we're going to look at a street sign and another advertisement. Zooming in on some more signs. Looking around, looking for information. And we're going to zoom in on the sign for a bit. And we're going to look at this sign as well. Some kind of odd panning here, not very useful panning. Some zooming. And we're zoomed in on basically nothing. This is a little bit strange. Not sure what they're looking for at this point. I mean, I feel like a player of this experience would recognize Poland just by the language. Is there something to indicate the city? That crest on the sign would definitely indicate a city. If you're learning Poland, that would be a useful one to learn the at least the major city crests. I'm not familiar with them in general. Be a good thing to learn, but doesn't seem to appear that they know that either. And they're looking at the sky now. They kept moving around. Let's see how close is. I mean, that's a pretty close guess. Um, Name of that town. Don't believe that's on a sign. Geoguessr. If we take a look at the sign here, is this something that's on one of the signs? It is certainly not on any of these signs. The players clicked in very close to this town here, um, very quickly. Um, I think the zooming in and panning on things that are pretty useless, I feel like would indicate that this is probably some Googling going on here. It just doesn't make sense that finding no information other than what's on a sign, I don't think it's that obvious. I mean, this is a sign for a clinic. If you were to type in the name of that clinic, it would certainly show up on a Google map. A street name obviously would as well. That'd be a little harder to Google. The Sobieskiego word. I mean, again, if you're Polish or speak Polish, read Polish, it might be a little bit easier. But I think that's where they got the information. They looked up this particular clinic and got the address there. It's just that I mean, it's urban, so I mean, where are you region guessing from? Building construction is a little more difficult than in Poland. I mean, you definitely get different architecture in cities like Gdansk. Um, Much more difficult in the rest of the country. Um, but I'm going to have to say that this player is guilty of Googling, and hopefully the Geo team picks up on that. I'm going to do one more round, see how it goes. Okay, this appears to be the same player again. We got a no move, 900 to 1,000, 700 to 800 games played. Appear to be in Australia this time. I'm going to take a look around. We're going to zoom in a sign. And we're going to sit here. And we're going to look at a sign and we're going to sit here again. So, looking fairly suspicious already. Map has not been opened yet. They're almost certainly typing in wet tropics into Google. They've moved away now, I guess, to try and not arouse too much suspicion. lining up the road, they're zoomed in a bollard now. This is very interesting. Weird, weird behavior. If you're trying to gather info quick enough to make an educated guess, we're going to have a very accurate guess, I think, again. Yes, we are. Along the coast, which would be easily identifiable by what you see on the map. So, we got another Googler. So, this was an interesting one. We definitely had looked like almost everybody who was reported, or everybody who was reported on this particular set of cases, that all appear to be cheating, which is very different from my experience in these investigations. For the most part, I didn't see anything suspicious. Now, the first round we looked at, the player didn't appear to be cheating in any way, but it looked like the same player next round was using a script. So could very well be the fact that that was it. So appreciate everyone who managed to give me a view here on this video. Any disagreement with any of my decisions here, please let it be known in the comments. And I'll look to do the same thing again next week. I think this is pretty interesting program that Geoguessr's put together, and I'd like to continue doing this. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy.